I thought we left this in PLL. I genuinely thought we left the whole teacher-student relationship with Arya and Ezra, and I think as a society I thought we've progressed past the point where we think that's even acceptable, even within TV shows. Like, it's really unfortunate that we keep having to have the same discussion, that dark-skinned black girls are not in these mainstream shows. Heck, dark-skinned, the only, personally, I don't think Obi is all that for him to cause this sister feud. Like, I'm so sorry. Julian and Obi, why did they decide that they were going to make out at a protest? Everyone is very attractive. Let's not lie and say that people are ugly. No one's ugly in that show. Everybody's very attractive. And it goes a little something like, hi guys, welcome to my review Lifestyle and Academia channel. My name is Agapé, like the love. If you're new here, then hi, welcome. This is a safe space. But if you're not, thank you so much for clicking on one of my videos once again. As you guys can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be reviewing the first 6 episodes of the Gossip Girl reboot. This has been a very interesting show to watch, and I have a lot of thoughts. So if you want to watch that, then I think you should continue. But before we start, if you want to give this video a like, comment and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Maybe tell me which character was your favorite character from this new reboot, and tell me why. I'm really curious to know that. Okay, let's get into the video. I also think it's due to the writing. That was my first point about how it was inconsistent, and a lot of it is due to its writing, right? And I think the reason why the Gossip Girl reboot fails so far in the first 6 episodes, or is not as enjoyable as it should be, is the fact that we're introduced to a group of people. They're supposed to be a tight group of friends. Maybe they've been friends for the whole of high school, or maybe their whole lives, right? They're this tight group of friends, and we're also introduced to Zoya, who's Julian's sister. That's not a spoiler, not really. Zoya, who's Julian's sister, and she comes into the group and she sort of like infiltrates the group, and Luna and Monet don't want this to happen because Julian is supposed to be like the it girl, and as soon as Zoya comes, then that it girl status is sort of disrupted, right? I can see that as a writing standpoint. I like that perspective, right? It's really cute, but I think it could have gone, it could have been even better if we saw this group of people interact before Zoya came, right? Because now I don't really understand why Monet and Luna have this resentment towards Zoya. Like, it's not really justified, because we don't see what the group was like before her. We only see what the group is like now. So whenever Monet and Luna are like, whenever they talk about like how Julian used to be this it girl, like, we don't see that because it was never something that was shown to us, right? The plot about Zoya being Julian's sister and them knowing each other, it's an interesting one, but it came off so soon, like so suddenly. Once, like, by like 20 minutes into the episode, you know that already. Like, even they could have even taken that idea, right, and give it to us in episode 2, give it to us in episode 3. Let us have an episode where the girls are going back, the girls and the guys are going back to high school, right? We know this is the world where COVID happens. This is like in like realistic, but like they're going back to school, and maybe Zoya misses the first day, maybe Zoya misses the first week, so we at least have context to play with when we talk about this big group, this core group. We see them in so many different settings, but they can't really be realistic to me, because I never saw what they were before Zoya comes. So this whole idea of Zoya coming in and disrupting this core, disrupting Julian and Obi, I can't see that because we never saw them as a power couple, the one that they were before. So that's one of my main problems that I have, and like that problem actually just like flows throughout the whole show, because there's so many things that they could have done in terms of writing that they just now can't do, and they just can't develop character, because the characters seem so wishy-washy, right? With Julian and with Zoya, the characters, those two, I feel like in every episode they're either fighting or they're okay, or they're fighting or they're okay, or they're fighting, they're okay. And we're on episode 6. Like, I just met these characters. Why am I in this boyfriend battle with them, right? It feels the writing could be so much more impactful had they just decided to try things a bit differently, and that's why it sucks. Like Zoya and Julian's fights, every time they have a fight, it lessens the impact of the next one, because it feels like all the things, like these sisters are just going to fight, they're just going to keep fighting, and it's just going to be because of Obi. And personally, I don't think Obi is all that for him to cause this sister feud. Like, I'm so sorry, I don't see Obi being all that suddenly everyone and their mom is fighting over Obi. Like, am I missing something? I just don't see it. No, I don't see it. So we know that the teachers are Gossip Girl, right? And again, this is a point that I forgot to mention about the inconsistent writing. We know that the teachers are Gossip Girl, right? I found it to be really weird when two of the teachers set up that one teacher because they thought she was having a guilty conscience, right, about Gossip Girl. They set her up, they put down the firewall so that the school was able to trace it to being the teacher, right? But then afterwards, Gossip Girl continued to exist, and I don't know why the school didn't find it sus that even after the teacher that they expected Gossip Girl to be was fired, Gossip Girl continued. Like, surely that would mean that other teachers were also Gossip Girl. Like, that was something that I thought about, that I don't know if the showrunners didn't think about, or the school suddenly thought, oh, Gossip Girl isn't a problem anymore. Like, how did it go from having a meeting about Gossip Girl, the school teachers disciplinary meeting about how Gossip Girl is destroying our kids and whatever, and they aren't paying attention because they're worried about what Gossip Girl said, focus that to this woman losing her job, and now suddenly the teachers now suddenly the school body doesn't care. Like, you lost me there. That's another thing when I mentioned about the inconsistent writing. The teachers being Gossip Girl, it leaves us with no suspense, right? Because the first Gossip Girl was all about who Gossip Girl is, right? And this one, I know that the creative directors and the writers said this one really isn't about who Gossip Girl is and how we can all be Gossip Girl through social media. I just don't think that concept is being developed enough. Like, I don't think, I can see where it's coming from, where everybody can sort of take a picture and send it in, but like, it just leaves us with no suspense. So going forward, I don't know how entertaining that will be. So the entertainment doesn't really come from like Gossip Girl, because how do we work with this? The entertainment doesn't come from Gossip Girl, but more people doing things, and Gossip Girl just finding them, catching them in like random moments. I don't know, y'all. I don't know about that. Another thing that I want to discuss is, on top of the writing not being amazing, we also have acting that is also not amazing, and this is the problem. So I can see with the cast members, a lot of them are quite young. We have 18-year-olds, we have 19-year-olds, we have 22-year-olds, we even have people who are 26, 27 playing high school. But there's so many videos on YouTube about why that's the case. I'm not going to go deep into it, but I feel like a lot of the acting is not good. I don't know how to put it differently. Like, a lot of the acting does not feel good to me. So I'm watching the episode and it's like, I can't act for anything, right? And I'm like, you know what, even me, I could pull off these scenes a little bit better than they are. Like, if the writing is bad, at least let it be elevated by good acting. But nothing's happening because these people cannot act. Like, I love Evan Mock, but I'm sorry, we have to hang it up flat screen because something is bad. And his character, his arc line, and his character is an interesting one, but it feels like it doesn't feel like anything, to be honest. Like, it doesn't feel like he's acting. Everybody who's around him, a lot of people who are in scenes with him one-to-one, I feel like they're carrying the scene. Like, there's so much emotional weight that Aki's character like has, right? But Evan is not portraying that, so it just falls flat. Like, I think from like episode 2 I was like, this is a problem. And then I think I was watching episode 5 and I'm like, I don't know who's acting in this episode apart from Thomas. Like, I don't know who's acting, because this is just not good. Like, somebody needs to intervene. Whilst they're busy filming, my man on the side can be in acting class. Like, genuinely, perfect your craft, you can always get better at something, but like the acting is just not good. And I know a lot of shows where writing is terrible but the people are acting their butts off. So even if the writing is bad, there's words on the paper that need to be brought to life, and it feels like nothing's happening, so I just get even more disappointed. Okay, again, I know I mentioned the thing about Julian and Zoya fighting over Obi, and that being something that like the two sisters fight over a boy, but I'm sorry, I have to just draw more attention to that because I feel like it was just weird. It's weird because Zoya, you can see Zoya's quite young, and after that blowout fight that they have about Zoya being shocked that Julian is still in love with Obi. Of course Julian will still be in love with Obi. That was her boyfriend that she's had for such a long time. Like, I'm like contemplating why I'm making this video because this show is so ridiculous, and like speaking about it is giving me like I'm losing brain cells as I'm trying to decipher this. Obi's just not that good looking. Like, Obi's not that hot, not even like physical appearance. Obi as a character is very weird to me. He's this person who wants to make a difference, but like he's living this billionaire life, right? His family's super loaded. He doesn't seem to really have a personality in the 6 episodes that we've seen him in. He seems very wishy-washy. You can obviously see he's a mama's boy. He's one of those people who like want to do good but like also are just loaded. Like, I'm sorry, like we're eating the rich over here. To me, you can't be one who lives in like a whole penthouse in New York City but then say I'm fighting about this inequality. Like, child, sell your house, live in a small place. You don't need to own the whole block of flats. Generally, you don't need to own the whole hotel. I'm sorry. So Obi as a character just seems really weird to me, so I don't know what is drawing him in. Like, why are these two girls fighting? Because to me, Obi doesn't seem like that kind of guy. Like, am I missing something here, you guys? Am I missing something? Because Obi doesn't seem like that person. Okay, another thing that I talked about was about it being like the super diverse show, and the reason why I put it in quotation marks is because it's really unfortunate that we keep having to have the same discussion that dark-skinned black girls are not in these mainstream shows. Heck, the only dark-skinned person that was in that show is Zoya's dad. Like, if we think about it from that standpoint, it's like, that's bad. Like, that's very, very, very bad to me. Like, honestly, that's terrible to me. Monet's character could have been dark-skinned. Like, there's several characters in the show but none of them, so it was just very weird to me. So it's, again, it's the biracial girls are running it, and I think I've had to reckon with that. I've had to reckon with that being a thing. So these days I'm not really like bothered. I say that, but I just spoke about it for a minute. No, these days I've had to reckon with the fact that like Netflix, HBO, Hulu, all of those shows don't recognize that dark-skinned black girls are teens too. Like, they really don't recognize that. So now it's like, okay, now let's just watch this show and we can critique it. But even with a character like Luna's a really like, and everyone online gravitates towards Luna. Luna's freaking stunning, right? But we haven't seen Luna, we haven't seen Luna's background, we haven't heard anything about her, and I feel like we've had filler episodes where they could have been there to introduce a character, right? We could have seen more of a backstory. We saw Aki's family. We saw Aki's family. We had something about Audrey, like her mom situation. We've seen that over the course of like 2-3 episodes, but we have yet to hear anything about what Monet is doing, what Luna's doing. So it feels really, really weird when you think about a show that's painted and that was being celebrated for its diversity. Like, I don't really see that. I don't really see that. So that's quite unfortunate, right? If it's going to be known for having this thing but we don't see it, so it's really weird. Is the dog going to bark? No. Is it? We also have to talk about that arc. Yeah, I just don't want to discuss it, hey. Why is a teacher with a student? No, I thought we left this in PLL. I genuinely thought we left the whole teacher-student relationship with Arya and Ezra, and I think as a society I thought we've progressed past the point where we think that's even acceptable, even within TV shows. Like, it's very weird. Like, I think that going back to when I used to watch PLL, I remember wanting to root for Arya and Ezra and their parents not being understanding, and I'm like, what? No, how do their parents not understand? And it's like, she was 16, he was a teacher, she was 16. This is very, very weird. I can understand things having to occur in TV and stuff, but it's very weird when the only pan character in the show is one that's in such buffoonery. Like, it's actually illegal. Like, that's very weird to me. And obviously you can understand, okay, it's just like the TV show, I get that, and these narratives exist in real life, and it could maybe like foster a conversation about grooming and things like that within the LGBTQ community, but it's still very weird. Like, I feel like nothing is going further. We're just presented with this being a weird character and a weird person, but like, I need to actually see accountability for them. A lot of these things being said, we're only 6 episodes in, so by the time hopefully the season ends or season 2 ends, that teacher, I'm saying that teacher, needs to be handcuffed and they need to be in prison. Honestly, I need to see some repercussions for that teacher, because if not, I'm just gonna be very annoyed, because at a certain point people need to start like glamorizing this, making it a super hot, attractive teacher, and the student that has no one else to talk to. Like, no, I'm sorry, that's just weird. Like, it's very weird to me. So yeah, but also I'm saying that, like, all the points that I've mentioned, actually not all the points, some things are not redeemable, but some of the points that I've mentioned, it's only because we've seen 6 episodes, and I understand that only 6 episodes are out, but I feel like as a show that has been like praised for going to do this incredible thing, we've just not seen it being done. And episode after episode, I think it was getting better, but it just progressively got worse, and I was like, yeah, no, how is this salvageable? Like, it really doesn't seem salvageable to me. There were also some moments that I would just question like existence whilst watching it, because I was like, surely I have better things to do. Can we discuss why was Julian and Obi, why did they decide that they were going to make out at a protest? Surely at the backdrops of people being arrested and police sirens and people chanting and protesting, surely that is not the appropriate time for you to be like, you know what, I want to make out with you. Like, I'm sorry, even as someone who watching the TV show, I'm like, yeah, no, that's so cringe. Like, that is so cringe to me, because how did Julian suddenly have her woke girl moment like 6 episodes in? Like, it just felt very weird. And Obi, I don't trust Obi. This is the Obi's hate account, so that was just extremely weird to me. Stuff like that made me just question, like, why am I watching this show? Because yeah, you know, I can't even hate watch something. Like, I'm just like, why am I actually, like, let's have a serious conversation, Copy. Why are we indulging in this? Because this is just terrible. Apart from that, we can talk about Aki being outed 3 times. Like, that's the thing, Aki as a character, I really think he's such a sweet character, but even just drains the life out of it for me. Like, his acting just makes the character so insufferable, which is really sad, because on paper that's probably my favorite character. Like, on paper, this character that's still trying to discover who they are, and what it means to be whatever they identify as, right? As a character, probably my favorite, but the actor is just terrible. Like, I'm really sorry, it's just really bad. Okay, enough with me saying terrible things about the Gossip Girl reboot, something that I have actually enjoyed is the music. I think the music and the soundtrack is so current, is so like what I would listen to. I'm hearing Rico Nasty, I'm hearing Chloe and Halle, I'm hearing Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I'm hearing the music that I know people our age listen to. It feels so fresh, it feels so new. I'm hearing Victoria Monet. Like, I really like the soundtrack, and I think the soundtrack works. Things work with the show. They cannot do wrong in my eyes when it comes to the soundtrack. I think it's very current. It's like, it feels like a bit of me, so that's something that I really can appreciate. Another thing that I really like is the references to the old Gossip Girl doesn't feel too like they're trying to do too much. I know with some reboot shows it doesn't work because they're trying to, they're like, you just need to recognize that that show exists and we exist in the same world, in the same realm with similar characters. I don't need to hear about them every episode. I don't need to see references all the time. And so I think with this Gossip Girl reboot, that's something they do really well. They understand that that show was a phenomenon. So if they're going to mention Blair and Chuck and Serena and all of them lot, they're going to have to do it when it makes sense. So that's something that they have been, that's something that they've actually been able to do really well, which I can clap for them about that. And another thing, was there something else? Everyone is very attractive. Let's not lie and say that people are ugly. No one's ugly in that show. Everybody's very attractive. The fashion is impeccable. Actually, maybe impeccable is doing a stretch. The fashion is good, right? The fashion is good. At times, sometimes Julian, I don't see her being the it girl. Sometimes the outfits are very questionable, right? But the fashion is good and everybody is very sexy. So I feel like a lot of young teens are just watching it because everyone's hot. And you know what, to be fair, do that, babes, do it, enjoy yourself. I know you will, but like watching it from like an entertainment enjoyable standpoint is very questionable. If I watch Gossip Girl as a comedy, then maybe I will have a different experience. Like with Riverdale, you can't watch Riverdale and expect yourself to have a serious time. Like, don't do that, don't actually do that. Watch it as a comedy and you will enjoy it. Like, just watch it like this is supposed to be a joke and you'll have a good time. Okay guys, thank you guys so much. Oh, let's go back. Okay guys, thank you guys so much for watching my video about me ranting about why the Gossip Girl reboot is not what we wanted it to be. But you know what, maybe it could be what we want it to be. And who knows, maybe we'll watch it to see if it becomes what we want it to be. But in the meantime, it's just not. And that's okay to recognize. And it's okay, and it's okay to just watch something and actually not like what you're watching, but just to watch it because there's FOMO. I'm gonna do it anyway. And so yeah guys, thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a comment, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Maybe there's something that you agreed with or didn't agree with, or maybe you still want to tell me who your favorite character is. Then I'd like to know it in the comment section below. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.